Hey guys. Awesome. So, from what I saw with the comments, pretty good reaction to Viking Warrior and the concept of a path system, as well as apparently my beard, which is still nowhere near as epic as most of the beards here. So is my volume too loud, guys? Cool. Okay, so let's start with some questions. What is my favorite part of the Viking Warrior class? Well, originally it would have to be Mjolnir, because, it's Mjolnir. On the other hand, I think the dual wielding shield path might turn out to be absolutely awesome. It's going to be different, certainly, than what you see in any MMORPG, and certainly most, RPGs. And if we can pull it off, I think it would be just great. And I'm really looking forward, as a designer, to see how a dual wielding shield class, especially one who starts with a two-handed shield and then can separate it out to two one-handed shields, could be effective. And Ben and I were actually discussing this last night. Since this is a non-PvE game, or at least PvE leveling game, of course, then I think a dual wielding shield warrior makes a lot of sense. My shirt collar. Oh yeah, thank you. Fixed. If everything in an MMO could be as fixed as easily as that. Oh, and FYI, guys, if you go up on our main webpage, you'll see the update that has the document. It's in PDF format, already attached. So for those who want to see the document and ask questions based on the document, who haven't seen it in our forums already, go right to our webpage and you should be able to grab it. Question about what's the difference between a path and a no path player. Is it appearance and some cosmetics? Yeah, that's our intent for now. That's the whole point about the path system, is that we wanted it to be optional. We wanted it to be something that you looked at as players as, well, this is kind of cool, and we can have fun with it, or you can decide, hey, I just want to play the game your way. You want to play it by using the abilities, using the components that are interesting to you without worrying about the path system. Thor, thank you. Yes, a lot of thought was put into that document, and to the not only the classes concepts themselves, but to the path system. Could you guys try pronouncing the race's abilities in a Scandinavian fashion? Sure, I don't mind embarrassing myself more than I already have, and will continue to. I am awful at pronunciation, but, you know, I'll continue to do that. From a cavity, are we going to use gods for all the other paths? No, not necessarily. You know, when you look at the Viking lore and mythology, being able to use Thor and Odin as the names of the paths just seems so, not only obvious, but so appropriate. So will the other paths in the various classes, not only in the Viking realm, but the other realms, have to be tied to gods and goddesses? Absolutely not. Can you specialize from Cooper Killer? Can you specialize in a weapon type? Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's the whole point. We said from the beginning that you know, you guys were going to be crafting your own abilities. You were going to choose the weapon you want to use, you choose the components, you know, other components you want to use, and you put them together. So yes, if you want to specialize in, you know, slash versus crush, or you want to specialize in a spear, that's your choice. Hang on a sec, guys. Question from Asens about decay. If we stop the game for some months, will we have to redo most of what we had done before? No, absolutely not. That would be a quick point. That would be something that would be certainly hard or harder, and pose an additional burden on our more casual players. So no, we're not even thinking that. That would be bad. As a matter of fact, that is covered in the document. Certainly, I know there's at least one, if not two, fact questions where I touch on that. And there's a section as well in the non-fact where I talk about skill decay, possible skill decay. From Foggy, you know, how flexible will weapon types be? They may or may not be, depending on the path. Like having the path of Thor and not using Mjolnir really doesn't make a lot of sense. So it may depend on whether we want the path itself to be pretty flexible in terms of weapons. But again, that's the whole point. You know, if this is really an optional system, a way of organizing a lot of very, you don't want to say necessarily disparate data, but just an awful lot of data with different components, obviously different weapon types, runes, all that stuff that's going to go into making attacks, whether on the melee side or on the magical side. You know, we have to give you that kind of flexibility, but we also want to give you a way that you can, you know, not only self-identify a little bit better, but just so you can get a handle on, you know, where you may want to go down or what path you may want to go down for your tunes. Will some, from Spike, will some runes be weapon locked? Probably. I mean, if there are some runes and components that really do fit a specific weapon, there may be locking there. We haven't gotten that far yet, certainly, but it's something that's kind of logical. Since no need to apologize. Or yes, definitely no need to apologize for not reading the document first. No problem at all. Yeah, Sacrix, I was waiting for somebody to ask this. Are melee guys going to have similar visual to mage with components overhead? That is something we're discussing. You again, part of this game, right from the Kickstarter and before the Kickstarter, was that we were going to have reactionaries, we were going to have positionals. We wanted you guys, and I know you folks wanted it as well, to have combat that simply wasn't, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so whatever we can do to make it so you can, have those kind of reactionaries and positionals, and you're not simply hitting macros, we're going to do. Biggie Shorty, can a player perform in-game physical training in order to enhance stats? Yes. We have talked about that before, that we realize that there's going to be some downtime for players, just as there is in every MMO, but especially in MMO where we are focused on RVR. And so if you've got some spare time and want to engage in some, training, we're going to allow that. What we have also said is that it's going to be capped. So you can't macro, hitting your sword against, a wooden post for 3 hours and, get a huge increase in any of your stats or your skills. Just a reminder for everyone, the document is up on our website in today's update. Just went up about 15 minutes ago. Question, Rhaegar, if there's skill decay, would you earn it back quicker? Don't want to say no, and I don't want to say yes, not because I'm being evasive, but frankly, because I haven't even thought about that far yet. It would make sense that you can earn back quicker. Again, and I know you've seen the document before now. This does not confirm, and it cannot be a quit point for players. We do not want to do that. Spike, since I grew the beard clearly for the Viking reveal, can I grow long hair for the TDD reveal? No, that would not be a good look at all. If I could grow long hair on the top of my head, that'd be great. But everywhere else, yeah, no, that would be bad. Will there be a total amount of progression points which you can spread around the various paths? That's certainly something we are considering. It's a little tropish, but it may work. Yes, we do want people to have the ability to work with different weapons. But as everyone who has, frankly, been with us before the Kickstarter and beyond knows, this is a slow progression system. So if you want to skill up Thor and skill up Odin at the same time, you're going to be even slower. So keep that in mind. Will there be a disadvantage for not choosing a path? Other than cosmetic, no. Otherwise, it no longer becomes an optional system. Drooged, back on weapons. As a crafter, am I making Mjolnir over and over again for every hammer warrior? So yes and no there. The yes part, of course, you need the hammer to start. Right? So people have to have hammers and the crafters have to craft them. But one of the things I've said as well is that as you reach soft cap or you get closer to soft cap, we don't want our warriors to have to keep trading out their main weapon. And nor do we want our crafters having to spend all the time it would take to make a high-level Mjolnir as somebody has just gotten a little bit more powerful. So one of the things we're going to do with the crafters is give them other things they can do when they reach that higher level, higher skill